And we're back for the finale of the Lost in Space saga with Jazz, who is currently cruising a planet he refers to as the Information Highway. Jazz feels like he has everything he needs here, as he picks up Ratchet's homing beacon, which was set up in part 1, and Jazz just ignores it. If you missed the Ratchet video, then you can check out the right hand corner right now and check it out. Currently, 78.6% of you watching this video are not currently subscribed to my channel. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please do not hesitate to click that subscribe button. A few weeks ago, it was at 82.5%, so we've increased already. Thank you. To say Jazz is a high-ranking Autobot, it feels out of character for him to ignore Ratchet's signal, knowing his fellow Autobots are out there, possibly in danger as he abandons the war.
I've dubbed this the Information Highway. The accumulated knowledge of countless alien cultures condensed into a kind of sensory precipitation. Some days, it's almost too much. I'm in data overdrive. Every subsystem exploding with caches containing new ways of thinking, of being.
Which implies Jazz has been on this planet for several days, much how we saw with Ironhide in his issue, which you can also check in the right hand corner. The planet changes around him, which Jazz loves, stating that the planet is always changing, like him. What Jazz doesn't see though is threats, or if he does, he doesn't appear to consider them very high. Jazz curiously approaches these new planetary changes, and is struck with a swarm of green energy spheres which attack him, as we see a flashback. This is probably my favourite issue of the Lost in Space saga, because here we get Jazz and Clocker versus BONECRUSHER. This comic does great to the characterization of BONECRUSHER as he is pursuing Clocker, who is carrying an injured Jazz. Jazz's injuries are very interesting because he mentions in character that he externalizes his spark core force field to keep his bodywork buff. This is touched upon heavily in the movie universe book, which I did a video on, again in the right hand corner. This means Jazz wasn't protected in terms of his armor, as he favored his looks over protection. Now, with this style, his body is able to absorb information as well, but that comes at the cost of protection, his armor. This allows BONECRUSHER to nearly slice open Jazz's spark core. This is the very reason that Jazz died so easily in the 2007 movie.
Know what I like to do with shiny things? Oh no. BONECRUSHER. I like to turn them into scorched, mangled wrecks. 'Cause I figure, why should they look so nice when I look like this?
Clocker tells Jazz to flee. He's more of a hindrance than anything, whilst he buys him some time against BONECRUSHER. And although it's not stated in canon, I can't help but feel Jazz has some sort of PTSD or some sort of guilt for leaving Clocker behind, because he says it's not his finest hour, and that once reinforcements arrive, BONECRUSHER didn't leave much of Clocker to salvage. Clocker, you deserved better, my boy. I did a previous movie lore video explaining this in a short, and why Optimus Prime ended BONECRUSHER's life so quickly in a fight in the highway, and whilst it's likely more of a budget reason in the real world, for the CGI characters and the cost of producing a fight scene, in canon, I feel Optimus would have known about this injury to Jazz by BONECRUSHER, since Jazz is his right-hand man, and anything significant, whether it's before in the past or current, I feel Optimus would have known about that if it was so significant to someone so close by his side.
I reallocated so much of my system capacity to data storage, there's nothing left in me to resist. I can feel every bit of my being slowly stripped away. Absorbed. Memories. Experiences. Sensations. all I can do is launch a warning buoy and hope others keep away. Time passes. I cling on to whatever brief periods of lucidity I get. Formulating a rationale, a theory, I conclude that the planet is alive, and I am not its first victim.
Jazz has no fight left in him, so with his last waking thoughts, he launches a warning buoy to try and keep others away from the planet as he is literally swallowed whole by the surface. Looking round and seeing other victims, he is not the first. Although it is strange that Jazz didn't notice the other victims previously, especially if he's been on the planet for days. Was he just oblivious? Didn't care? Or was this another case of the planet constantly changing? Was Jazz just overloaded with the amount of data he was absorbing that he was just overwhelmed at the time to notice anything? Soon after, thanks to the warning buoy he launches, Ironhide and Ratchet, who have since reunited between Lost in Space Part 3 and 4, crash to the surface to Jazz's aid, realizing the planet itself is actually alive.
Ironhide says, "Assuming you can hear, I'm going to say this just once. Give us back our bot."
Ironhide shoots as the surface detaches and releases Jazz, as Ratchet begins giving him some medical aid. They all transform, now aware of their location in the cosmos and their proximity to Cybertron, stating that they can all go home. I can't help but notice the fact that Jazz simply doesn't learn from the encounter with BONECRUSHER. It's difficult to tell when this flashback was, but Jazz never changed his body from data storage to more protection armor-wise, because he could have survived against Megatron if he did change his body, or maybe he would have been able to endure the fight longer before he was killed. After the near-death experience handed to him by BONECRUSHER, you would have thought Jazz would have learned, but perhaps Jazz just didn't have time to change his body completely. Maybe the Autobots didn't have the resources to convert his body, or maybe Jazz just didn't want to be someone else that he wasn't. He didn't want a body that wasn't him. He wanted to live life his own way, which ultimately I can respect for him choosing that path. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with the Transformers community, and join the Discord link in the description below. Hope you've all had a merry start to December. Transform and roll out.